Boom. All right, guys, we are in, and I'm so excited. Happy Wednesday, October 18th, coming to you live, coming to you excited, coming to you with tremendous levels of gratitude. For the people that do not know, I'm leaving for Singapore and Bali for 12 days. I leave today. I checked in last night, so it's all real. Everything is all put together. We took a charcoal pill for the last couple of days. You're supposed to do something for your system, but I've been fasting for 2 weeks, and so I'm ready to eat some food, relax, be on the beach, be in the jungle. And for the people that don't know, I'm actually eloping while I am in the jungle. It's her and I, a photographer and an officiant, and I'm hoping somebody can hold my camera and actually get some content on my phone. But nonetheless, you guys, I got amazing things to be grateful for in my life, and so do each of you. You guys are here. You woke up. You have the ability to walk, stand, breathe, see another day, hold your family, tell them that you love them, and just be present in the moment, and don't ever take that for granted. Like I said before, my buddy Jersey Tom, he beat cancer. He was a quadriplegic for 7 months of his life, had cancer that wrapped around the top part of his spine and left him completely paralyzed for 7 months. He said, every single day, I'm grateful just to stand up, just to be able to hold my lady. And he's like, don't ever take life for granted. Life is not a dress rehearsal, and don't be a liar to yourself, and don't waste days of your life. And so you guys, I want to share that sentiment with you. Lisette, I'm actually going to turn the mic over to you. You always have powerful things to say when we have group coaching. So I'm going to turn the mic over to you, and I'm going to have you bring us out on the field on this beautiful, beautiful Wednesday morning, which is a day that I will never forget for the rest of my life.
Okay.
So thanks for being a part of it, you guys.
Well, congratulations to you and Amanda. And I am a little tiny bit jelly. Have a wonderful time, a well-deserved vacation. And with that said, I am waking up with full gratitude, ready for this day, determined, focused, have my list of things that need to be done. And I am here so that you can now feed my mind and get me through this day. So with that, let's go.
Thank you. Is that for me, Christina? Thank you. I really appreciate the compliment. See the chat down below. She said I was looking gorgeous this morning. I want to thank you for the message.
I think she's talking about me.
Okay.
Yeah.
It's the sun on your face and how it's glistening. You're glowing brown right now. All right, guys. Obviously,
before we start, I just want to introduce. I have a buddy in here. He just got into real estate. His name is Nye. He is with Team Kinetic in SF. But yeah, let's welcome him to the career, the field, the whatever it is, man.
Yo, what up, guys?
What up, Nye? How you doing, my man? Thanks for being on today. My hope is this: you take one thing from this session. That's it. One thing.
What's up?
So, thanks for being here.
Yes, sir.
All right, guys, let's talk about a few things. And I saw a video this morning. It reminded me of each of you. I have 2 things I want to talk about. Then we're obviously going to get right into market conditions, conversations, and things that we should be in front of right now, at least with our dialogue when it comes to mastering our message to market. So I heard a message this morning. I thought it was really powerful. And the message went like this. If I, as a leader, if I, as a coach, if I, as a director of sales, whatever my title is, if I don't hold you accountable to the things that you say are absolutely important to you in your life, in your career, I lack integrity. I lack integrity if Carlos says that, hey, I want to do this, and I never hold him accountable to the things that he said, then I am lacking integrity. And I am not a man that wants to live and operate in this world by lacking integrity. And so if there's something that you've told me, and if you hate the constant reminders, then don't tell me. If there's something that you want to truly be held accountable and you say, Elias, turn up the heat on me, turn up the heat a little bit on me, I'm going to do just that. I'm going to turn up the heat because I owe it to you and I owe it to myself to make sure that I'm living in integrity. And if you are the person that says, I want to hold myself accountable, I need people to hold myself account or hold me accountable, and I'm not living up to that word, then you may need to take an inward look and you might have to say, am I lacking integrity? Am I lacking integrity with my word? Now, maybe you are, maybe you aren't. That's up for you to decide. But if I am not holding you accountable to the things that you say that are important to you in your life and business, then I am not a man of integrity. So as we enter this session today, I want to let you guys know that as we move towards the end of the year and we move into the new year, you're going to get a different level of accountability from me. I think that we all come together 3 times a week because there's this sense of community. There's this sense of it holds us all together. Sometimes we hear the thoughts, the ideas, the collective wisdom. But I also believe that you're here here because this offers you a sense of accountability, right? So I want to encourage you guys, if you're here, if you're showing up, put your camera on, get involved in this conversation, and let's make sure that we are always raising the bar when we're in this. This is not something that you just listen to in the background and it's just noise for you. I want you to be involved in the conversation, and I want you guys to be present in the conversation. So I want to share that with you. Second thing I want to share with you is self-discovery. I believe that if I can get you to truly discover yourself, be more aware, be more conscious, be more alert, be more sensitive, all those things, then what I can do is I can help you change, grow, and then I can impact your productivity. But until I'm able to tap into that person, all we're doing is just scraping the surface. What's up? How you doing? Great. Okay. Hi, bye, greetings and salutations. And there's no depth to that. So what I want to do is I want to impact our relationships. I want to go steps further with you guys. And maybe that means that we hop on one-on-ones. I don't care what that looks like. But my hope and my intent is that we all can go a little bit further. And I can help you discover the true person, the true woman, the true man that you truly are, that's going to lead you into making change and growth in this business, right? Break through any of those barriers, break through any of those ceilings that are holding you back, whatever that looks like for you. So what I want to do moving forward, I'm going to think a lot about this over the next 12 days, is how can I deepen the relationships with you guys? How can I impact the human? Because when I can impact the human, then I can create a great agent. Right? A lot of times coaches and leaders try to start with, how can I impact the agent? How can I get productivity out of this agent and try to KPI them? That's not my style. My style and my approach and my claim to fame has been my ability to find the human being, to find out what truly drives you, motivates you, pushes you. And once I'm able to identify that and your cause, your purpose, and the vision that you have for your life and business, then we can do the work on the agent side of it. So I want to share that with you guys. That's my sentiment. And we're going to go ahead and get started right in this conversation. I got some guest speakers. They're going to share some screen share in just a moment here. But I have a question. As I'm getting ready for this trip, I'm thinking about first off, how grateful I am. And I'm going to try not to get emotional saying this message. Never in my wildest of dreams, when I came up in life, did I ever think that I'd be in this position now? To be sitting in front of you amazing human beings telling you about a trip that I'm taking to Singapore and Bali that just did not exist where I came from, right? Where I came from was the come up for the day. What was I going to do to survive? What was I going to do to eat? How would I get my 40 for the day? How was I going to get a pack of cigarettes for the day? Like that was the come up for me. How was I going to support myself being on the streets at 16 years old? That was my vision, like that day. Never did I think that I'd be where I'm at today. And so it made me start thinking about this American dream, let's call it that. All of us have heard on some level what it means, what the American dream means. And all of us have probably a different interpretation. But I believe if we did a consensus right now that the American dream was rooted in hard work and buying real estate at a very, very young age to build a foundation for their family. Do you think that's a true statement? Is that okay to say no matter how far back in time we go? Do you think that that's part of the American dream, right? Work our asses off, buy real estate, hold that, and build some foundation for our family. So I wanted to take a journey through my own life, and I wanted to give you guys some examples. But before I do so, I wanted to share something with you. Not only is it one of my favorite movies, Sal's probably going to appreciate this on a very high level, but I want to share something with you guys really quick. And it is just a really quick clip, and I'm not going to play much of it. I'm going to play just a very, very short amount, but let me put my sound on here. Typically, I don't share too much, but I want to share this really quick. And then there's a rhyme and a reason to this. And I'm going to pause right there. So you guys, this is a clip from The Godfather, right? And this is when Vito Corleone, as a small young child, is coming over from Sicily. So my family came to this country in the late 1800s. My Italian side of the family came from Sicily and Italy to Ellis Island. And at that time, you got to think about what was going on in the United States of America. How many people were coming via boat to United States for the hope of what? For the hope of change, for the hope to come to this country to live a better life for them and for their family. And they got off that boat, didn't know what to do, didn't know where to go. All they looked for is said, how can I work? How can I work? Because I need to make money, because the money I make here is going to impact my family there. And so they literally got off the papers. And if you've ever heard the term WAP, I thought as a kid it was a derogatory term towards Italians, but it wasn't. It stood for without papers. They would come from the ships, they would go to Ellis Island through the gates, and then they would stamp their papers and put without papers, W-O-P. That's where the term WAP came from. And so it made me just think about who we are and how all of us probably have grandparents that immigrated here from another country. No matter who is on this call, your grandparents probably came to this country, or great-grandparents, to solidify a great life for you. And at no time in their existence did they travel on that boat over thousands and thousands of miles of ocean to come to a country that they had never been to give themselves the hope and for their family to build a dream. And all they knew that the only way that they were going to do it is through hard work. That's it, through hard work. And so when I was looking and you guys are talking about this right now, I'm looking at their voyage, what it took, like how many people were packed into these boats. And they were there on these boats, despite how they felt, despite the diseases, despite the chances of inclement weather. They, no matter what, said, we're going to do this because we believe that there's going to be hope for a better life. We believe. Let's take this lady here, Madam Walker. It's probably a name that some of you haven't heard of, but if you do your research and you look, she was an African-American entrepreneur and a philanthropist, and she was recorded as the first female self-made millionaire in the United States of America by Guinness Book of World Records, right? She came despite adversity, despite what was happening culturally, despite what was happening with the divide and race in our country. She was able to solidify her stance as an entrepreneur, as a philanthropist, and somebody that was going to build wealth for her and her families, despite anything. And so the reason why I share this message with you is because obviously I'm traveling internationally today. But I want to be a reflection, and I want you to be a reminder of the people that came to this country to build. Think of Carnegie. Carnegie was a Scottish immigrant that was a factory worker and became one of the richest men on earth. Think about Elon Musk, who came from South Africa as an immigrant to this country, and think about what he's done to reshape how we look at the world, the way that we have reduced emissions, where we're going, landing on the fucking moon, going to space, all these things. So I want you guys to remember this. The moment that you have a freaking doubt, the moment that you say, oh, I'm just not going to make my calls, I'm not going to make the content, I'm not going to get off my ass and do an open house, I'm going to have weeks and weeks go by since my last video, I'm not going to do the things that I know that I needed to do. Would your grandparents, would your great-grandparents who struggled to come to this country to build an opportunity for you and a legacy for you, do you think there was a day that great-grandfather said, I'm not going to work today because I don't feel like it? Do you think there was a day that your grandparents said that they're not going to work because they didn't feel like it? I don't know if you can hear the message in my voice right now, you guys, but I want that to be a reminder to everybody that our great-great-grandparents came to this country to give us a foundation, to give us a legacy, to allow us the opportunity to be free, to create an opportunity that was endless. And you, and I'm not pointing to anyone on the screen, I'm saying you as a generality, and I'm saying you to the people that may see this in the future. You want to have a fucking excuse about why you're not going to get on camera? When they travel thousands and thousands of miles on a boat just to get here and not even know where they're going to live, and you want to have an excuse? All I wanted to share with you guys as I start this conversation today is allow that to be a reminder of what the American dream actually means to you. You have an opportunity to create a life of abundance and wealth just like our ancestors did. The only difference is going to be grit and hard work. That's it. That is literally it. Our ancestors had made no other options. They weren't distracted. They came here, they put their head down and they worked. Some of them worked 2 jobs. Some of them put in 16 hours. Some people in this game right now work 16 hours in a week and think that they did a really good job. They posted 5 videos and they think, oh, I've made it. I've done everything I needed to do. People tell me all the time, I've done everything that I possibly can do to drive my business forward. Have you? Have you? Have you made 20 calls a day, 50 calls a day? Have you knocked on 200 doors in a month? Have you made 30 pieces of content in a month? Have you created 17 stories a day? I don't know what that looks like, but have you done everything? Chances are you probably haven't. So I just want to start this conversation out on a different tone today, as I am about to travel internationally, and I'm going to see people probably that have never had what we actually have today. With everything that's going on in the country, with the war, with fighting, it's an opportunity for you guys to look inward and say, you know what? I have the ability to create this, what they call the American dream. And are you doing that? And are you giving it justice? And are you serving the legacy correctly? The legacy that your family came here to create for you and for your children and for your children's children and the generations to come. Are you serving it justice? Or are you falling short? Just want to share those thoughts with you guys this morning. Would anybody like to chime in? Give me their thoughts, insight, dialogue, and anything that I just shared.
I would, man. My grandpa came through Ellis Island, through Napoli as well in the 20s. Interesting gentleman. Had larynx cancer, was a smoker, East Coast guy, Italian accent. I said, Grandpa, what was it like when you came over? You know, they wouldn't give you guys any jobs. He said, we made our own. I said, I don't know what that means, but long story short, we got a lot more opportunity than our grandparents did, the people before us did. And with opportunity comes the opportunity to fall into vices, boredom, and out of purpose, right? So I think with all the options that we have nowadays, once you pick something that you want to do in life, it's extremely important to stay focused on that purpose. So if you start falling off, if you start feeling boredom, if you're wanting to replace time with certain items because you're not getting the accomplishments that you want, you need to catch yourself. I always say, boredom leads, lack of purpose leads to boredom, leads to vices. So whatever that vice is, eating bad foods, going out, whatever it might be, things that aren't productive, we need to catch ourselves in those time frames.
Man, I love it. And well said. And thanks, Sal, for being here. For the people that don't know Sal, thank you for being here. He's a guest of ours today. But I did see some reactions. I'd love to hear from Lizette. I'd love to hear from Vernon and anybody else that'd like to chime in on this conversation. We've got a couple minutes. So this is something I thought about long and hard last night and this morning. So let's hear from you, Lizette. Let's go over to Vernon. Anybody else that want to get involved in this conversation? What was sparked? What thoughts? Or maybe you're thinking about your grandparents or so on and so forth. Lizette, let's hear it.
I mean, you know what? I have a tough day today because I am doing a lot of sales calls and things that, you know, typically we think of, but that is exactly what I needed to hear because my mom was an immigrant and she didn't get to come here on a boat. Her struggle was a lot harder than that. And she did not rest. Neither did my great-grandparents, great-great-grandparents. So yeah, I have gosh darn it, I have zero excuse. So shut the fuck up and work because my mom and her family had it way harder than I will ever even begin to wrap my head around. So I have no excuse. So thank you, Coach.
God, I love what you said. I appreciate you. And Celeste will come to you in just a moment. Jeff will come to you in a moment. Vernon, big dog, where's your thoughts at right now? Hit him with it. Let's hear what's on your mind.
Coach, it's good to see your face before you travel abroad. Going to miss you tremendously. Let me start off with that. You know, everything you said really resonates with me, whether our folks, our ancestors came here willingly or unwillingly, right? Because not everyone's, you know, place of origin is the same or their route to this land was the same. Nonetheless, we are all sitting on this call and it resonates with me because, you know, my great-grandfather came over from the South at a very young age because he heard they were making 95 cents an hour or 95 cents a day at that time over here, and actually became the first Black pipe fitter to ever work on Mare Island before you could be a pipe fitter as a Black man. You understand what I'm saying? And so to operate from that space, because, you know, keeping that at the forefront of my grind in terms of where I come from and the blood that flows through my veins, you understand, and what we've overcome in to get to this point is super encouraging, super motivating, bro. So I could tell you've been in your studies early this morning because you coming out here spitting fire, boy, right? He's spitting them bullets just coming. So I appreciate that and I respect that. And I'm super motivated, man. Let's go.
Well, I appreciate that, Vernon. And the other day I created a post and it said Vernon Williams. And he's like, hold on a second, you guys missed the third. And I know that lineage is not just important from like bloodline and family, but like that lineage of hard work, of grit, the stories, the perseverance. That's what the Vernon Williams the third represents. And so him being the third is the third leg in the race of saying, how can we continue to build this legacy for my family's name? And so I felt that the other day, and I think that's why it meant so much to you if I was just as an outsider looking in. But really good stuff. Let's go to Jeff, and then we'll go over to Celeste, and then we'll start shifting gears, talking about the market, you guys. But thank you for all your contributions thus far. Let's go, Jeff.
Just one more layer to that, and awesome, Elias. I mean, I love those reminders. My Gramps came over early 20s through Ellis Island. But 20 years later, he went back, and he was second wave at D-Day. And so many of those immigrants that came over just have a new life, ended up going back over and fighting in World War II. And just can't imagine, like you were saying, all the sacrifices they made to get here. And then all the sacrifices they made to defend, what they, the great things that they were able to experience here in the United States. So just amazing message. And I think about those kind of things quite frequently and how lucky I am to even be here, based on some of the things my grandfather went through. So,
man, powerful insight, Jeff. Powerful. And I think that we need to remind ourselves more, right? I promise you this session, because I have goosebumps talking about it. This session probably made God, I actually haven't thought about this for a minute. And I'm hoping that that's what's happening right now. It's like, God, like what were they doing? Grandparents made no excuses. My grandfather he died at 99 years old, cigarettes a day. He didn't tell you he loved you. He worked his ass off his whole entire life. He was an underground pipe layer. That's what he did. And he just worked so hard just to buy a house. They bought a house in 1961. My grandma and grandpa moved. She was from Hoboken, New Jersey. He was from the Bronx. And they bought a house for $11,500 in Southern California. And they lived there until they died. Just to build wealth for their family. So, Jeff, I really appreciate this sentiment. Let's go Celeste. Let's go Will Dengler. We'll go Damian, and then we'll get right in 30 minutes talking about the market. Let's go Celeste. And thank you guys. Thank you so much for getting involved in this conversation. It means the world. So, Celeste, you had your hand up, or you asked to say something?
Yes. Elias.
Yes, ma'am.
Where have you been all my life? Oh my God. All I can say right now is two things. Safe travels. I really want you to come back safely. And I need you to be in my life. I need to know you personally. The things that you have said this morning, as far as excuses and how we got here as a people, it's mind-blowing. It's mind-blowing. And to think that you have thought this through to present it to us, and how you started as you being a coach and you have no integrity if you do not stay on us. I need this. You're going to see more of me. Though all you see is a picture, is because I kind of put things off a little bit sometimes. Ask Chris. But you will see more of me. Thank you very much. And I'm praying for your safe return from this wonderful trip. But when you get back, I may be gone. I'm going to Africa until the 15th of November.
Yes,
so,
I love it.
Yeah, I'll be in Morocco, but
Yes.
I need to know you. Thank you very much for all you've been doing. I've been on your calls for a minute now, and I try my hardest not to miss them. Thank you.
Well, thank you. And from the bottom of my heart, I appreciate the compliment. This is always about you guys. I'm a moderator of thought. And so if I don't put the work in, how can I expect for you guys to put the work in? Let's go Will Dengler. Let's go Damian, and then we'll shift gears. Damian or Will Dengler. What's up, big guy? Good to see you.
Hey, good morning, everybody. I think I was just going to kind of be a silent fly on the wall this morning. very happy for you and Amanda and your trip and your wedding. Super stoked for you. I love that you've been a part of my life and my growth. This really made me reflect. My great grandfather came over from Bavaria, one German grandfather, and 3 Irish ones. But specifically with the German one, that heritage passed down to William Dengler the first, who was a German fighting German, stormed Normandy, 4 Bronze Stars, last surviving member of his unit. William Dengler Jr., Vietnam, Force Recon Marine, World Trade Center fireman. Somehow, his goofy ass kid is shooting missiles on submarines and retaliating for 9/11 or planning Tomahawk cruise missile attacks. But what's interesting in all of that is that these guys, as much as I love them and American heroes and did these great things, these dudes all capped at 40 or 45 and lived a life of depression and alcohol and never really turned the corner on another success. Not to say that I don't respect my bloodline at all. I'm Willie Dengler the third. But I think something that really made me reflect on this morning is I don't want my military achievements or the fact that I owned a company once or we did some great shit for the Sacramento community before the pandemic, before the blows came in, to be what defines me. I'm busting my ass to pull out of some tough times up here. There was some, if you know me well, you know that there was some really fucking difficult parenting challenges that I went through in the last year, which I'll stay out of. Some really tough financial challenges with our company. It has been a fist fight to keep chins high. And Sal was speaking about something this morning. I love Sal. And a very inspiring guy. If you're not following Sal, you should on Instagram. Sal, you should throw your handle up. This dude pumps the same type of energy out that Elias does. And idle hands do the devil's work is a very interesting point, right? I'm someone who can get into my feels and kind of roll into past habits at times where, I'm partying or decompressing because that was a way for me to get out of my shit. So looking at that in the last year, I've got clean blood. I'm working my ass off. I'm lifting weights. I'm meditating in the morning. I'm getting after my shit now. But I'm not always in that state. I'm not always in that vibration. I'm being as real as I can with you guys. I can be at the fucking best of my game and crushing, and I can be crushing myself depending on what I'm going through. Trying to stay the gray Jedi, stay in the balance of things for myself. I think that is the key for me not falling into shadow and falling into mediocrity and having my years, 43 years and under, being the very best years of my life. I want to turn that corner. And I think what was said on this call this morning is very inspiring. I think Elias has 1 year on me. His fucking golden years aren't behind him, 43 and under.
Hell no.
Right. And I don't think that it is for me either. But the key for that not happening, for it being my defining story, is getting the fuck after it right now. And I am doing that. And I hope that everybody on this call is able to take that away. And I appreciate you letting me share some soul bearing truth there. But it's just the honesty that I have to beat myself up with if I'm going to make any change, And
I appreciate that. Top producer in units for our entire company last year, still grinding and still trying to find that next level. So, my heart's with you, all the stuff that you've been through, I'm still fighting. So let's go to Damien, and then I'm going to shift the conversation over to Christina, Stephanie, and then Sal had a few things that he would like to share with the team. So Damien, let's go to you, big dog. Good to see you. What's your thoughts, contributions to the conversation?
Wow, Will, I just want to say, wow, I don't really have a lot of words for that, but that was vulnerable. That was big. But originally, what I thought when you brought this topic up is that complacency has became an option. Like in past generations, they didn't really have an option to not do the work that they did because it was either you work or you don't eat. Now, our society has become a little more empathetic in a way that we take care of each other a little more. So we have the option to be a little bit more complacent, but with that, you become complacent and you don't do the things that you need to do to realize how great you can actually be. So a lot of people just become mediocre, and it doesn't feel good to be mediocre. And also now, after Will has spoken and thinking about the successes of people before you, it's on us to build on those, but to also expand on their failures as well. Like, we have that example in front of us, well, behind us, to now look back on and be like, oh yeah, they did all these great things, but then at 45, they didn't do anything else. Well, now we have the ability to look back on all that and use it to our advantage and keep going and just keep working and keep building to become even better, because that's all it's about, is evolution. So thank you guys for these thoughts this morning. This shit is tight. I like it. Thank you.
Well, you guys are tight, and I really appreciate it, you guys. So I literally wanted just to share that sentiment with you, to put everybody in a state, and I'm hoping that we achieve that and that hit the mark. I'm now going to turn the mic over to Christina as well as Stephanie. They have curated something to share, and then I wanted Sal to kind of share his thoughts and opinions, and I'm going to give you the latest rundown on the biggest case that's happening in our real estate industry right now. So Christina and Stephanie, feel free to take yourselves off of mute, cue this up. I'm going to share my share screen rights. The mic is all yours. Let's go.
Awesome. Thank you so much. So Stephanie, we're here from the Money Store, and there are some new programs that have come out, a grant program that's going to help us in closing costs, and kind of just a refresher, letting you guys know of some others that are available. So I'll go ahead and let Stephanie take over. She has a cool screen share to share with everyone.
Oh, we're getting official. I like this.
Okay, good. You can see it. All right, let's get started. So I'm Stephanie. I'm from the Money Store. And I'm just here to talk about a few more options, some extra tools you guys can utilize to help increase your buyer's purchase power. Elias, everything you just talked about is the perfect setup for what I'm about to talk about. And the reason is I truly believe in the power of home ownership, and I want everyone to be able to get a piece of the pie. So as we all know, being a homeowner, it helps strengthen our communities. It creates generational wealth. And not everybody has the funds to get into these homes or is able to save up all of this money. So I like to utilize these grants so that people can have some additional options, right? This might be the difference between being able to buy a home and not, because you can use these extra funds to buy down interest rates, increase the purchase price, or to help pay for closing costs, or maybe they don't have any down payment assistance. You can also layer down payment assistance programs, which is awesome. So we're going to go through a few of them here. So the first one we're going to talk about, I'm not going to read every single bulletin line item, but I'm going to touch on it, each one. So first one is a new one that's about to come out. It's the Delta Housing Affordability Fund. This is only available in Contra Costa County and San Joaquin. It is a $5,000 grant. Okay, so it's instantly forgiven, but you can use this towards your closing costs. So this is one item. It's going to be rolled out later this month. We are one of the preferred lenders, so not everybody is able to offer this. There are limited funds, as with most grant products. There are limited funds, so we are going to be helping with fundraising events. And so you'll see, Christina and I and the rest of the Money team, we're going to be promoting all of these different events. So I highly encourage you to share those so we can get more people involved and more donations. So that way, when the funds roll out, hopefully there's more money rolling in. So that's the first one. Wish. So Wish is another grant. It is $29,000. Okay. $29,000. The buyer does have to come in with their own funds, $7,250. These are restricted to households that are at 80% of the area median income. One thing to keep in mind, though, the area median income is based on where they currently reside. So for instance, I currently have a borrower who lives in San Mateo County. The income limits are higher there. She's buying in Solano County. She can use this program. Okay. So that's one thing to keep in mind. It's great. It's actually so it's a 5-year lien that's on the property, but it depreciates by 20% each year. So if they stay in the home and they keep the home for 5 years, at the end of the 5 years, they don't owe anything. $29,000, just like that. Okay. Another one is, okay, so this one I was going to talk about, the Black Wealth Initiative. It's geared towards the African American community. However, I was just informed that they have run out of funds. So I am waiting for confirmation if the funds are going to be replenished. Something to keep in mind, this happens with the grants, you know, funding runs out. I did one a couple months ago. It was a $50,000 middle income assistance program. I got my buyer $50,000. That was by far the easiest grant I've ever done. It was instantly forgiven. Very simple applying. It was quick. But it was a pilot program. Hopefully that one comes back. I'm waiting on confirmation to see if this one will come back. This one was a pretty easy program to do as well. It was $10,000 towards closing costs. I did speak with somebody yesterday. There is another product in Solano County, which I'm waiting for confirmation on. So I'll talk a little bit more about that when I get to the end. Here's another one. This is Splash. This is for the city of San Pablo only. Okay, it's a deferred silent second. And here you can get up to 20% of the purchase price, not to exceed $100,000. It is a shared appreciation. Okay, just kind of like California Dream for All. It's very similar, but this is available now. Okay, but it's only in the city of San Pablo. So what you'll find is that each city, a lot of cities have their own down payment assistance programs that they offer. It's just a matter of finding it. There's so many options. I'm showing you guys a few options, but there's a boatload more. We just have to find them and know how to navigate them. So it's really important that you work with an experienced lender who knows how to look for these things and how to do them. You know, not everybody can offer every single grant, and sometimes some of the grants have really long turn times, some don't. Like for instance, Wish, we can get that reviewed and done in a week. You know, some of the city down payment programs, they might take 21 days. So it just depends. And I know in this market, you know, to be competitive, we really need to focus on the ones that we can get done quicker, right? To stay competitive, but there are other options out there. So this Splash program is great. You know, it's also 80% of the area median income. Something to keep in mind too for you lenders, this isn't 80% of the area median income for Fannie Mae. These are HUD's guidelines. So it's based on how many people are in the household. So when you guys are looking at different types of grants, you want to make sure you know how many people live in the home, okay? Because for most grant programs, they count everybody's income, not just the people on the loan. So that's a little different than what we're used to for the first mortgage. And you can layer these with CalHFA, GSFA, regular FHA, first mortgages, regular conventionals. There's so many options. And then here is another one, Cal Home. So Cal Home is up to $38,000. This is only in Contra Costa County. This is geared towards low income. And like I mentioned earlier, this could be the difference for somebody, you know, between being able to buy a home and not. It's $38,000. So they must be a first-time home buyer. All of these have income limits, and some of them are different. Okay, so it's not just one general income limit for all of them. We have to dive deep and take a look at each individual one. They all have pros and cons. What I like to do when I'm presenting these to my buyers is because some people don't need these, right? Or it might just help boost their purchase price. So I like to give them options and show them, okay, look, this is the scenario with this product, this grant program, and this is without. And I have buyers that sometimes opt not to do them because they come with stipulations, right? Some of them don't allow refinances, or some people don't want to have that layer where I have to stay in this home for 5 years, or I can't sell it, or I can't rent it. So, you know, to each their own. But yeah, that is pretty much just a few of the the grant options. And there was one more that I just found out about, and it's called the Solano Funds for Black and Brown. And it's up to $20,000. And it's also geared towards people who are under 80% of the AMI, but they are working on trying to increase it to 120%. So that'll open it up to a lot more buyers. So hopefully that was helpful. If you guys have any further questions, reach out to us at the Money Team, and we can definitely help you guys get these questions answered.
If you guys could, and then Otis, we're going to save the questions until just a little bit, but yeah, keep your question on queue. Make sure if you guys have a link to all of these resources, put it down below. Also, your contact information as well. That way they can reach out with any questions after. Otis, I'll come to you in a second. Sal, I want to give you an opportunity to share thoughts, insights about the market patterns, conditions, things that you're seeing, and or opportunities for programs, grants, census tract, wherever that falls in. So let me give you an opportunity to share with the team as well. So Sal, let's hear from you, big dog.
Sounds good. You caught me coming out of the gym. I didn't know I was speaking today, but
it's all right. It's all right. You don't have to speak long, bro. Just kind of give your thoughts, sentiment about where the market's at, what you're seeing.
I never have a problem speaking, man. So I appreciate the opportunity. So speaking of grants, down payment assistance programs, things of that nature, right now for that particular client, this is a great market. And I mean, I've seen it in the last 4 offers that we've put out. It's comparable to the market in January, meaning that these interest rates going up, over this last month and a half, and the buyers adjusting to the new interest rate, it's really allowing us to have more negotiation power when we're putting in offers again. So, for example, I know I saw some people talking about, grants in Sacramento or other counties. There's something out there. It's called Empower. It takes care of their full down payment. It's immediately forgiven once the deal is funded. But they also have to cover the loan costs and they have to cover the closing costs. So if you can go into a deal, it's an FHA, so you can go up to 6% in seller's credits. If you can go into a deal and negotiate, 20, 25 K in seller's credits, because those houses aren't getting as much offers on it, then you can really have a client get into a home with no money out of pocket. So those are great programs to check into, and you really need to talk to your buyers right now that are looking at those type of programs and put kind of, assist them into the market as fast as possible, because when these rates start dropping, we're not going to be able to do things like that. And if they don't have enough cash to close, they're going to miss the opportunity. Besides that, I mean, things that I specialize in that I've been focusing on lately is really, non-QM for self-employed borrowers, right? So if you've got a self-employed borrower that, needs some help, getting their qualifying income up, meaning they write off a lot on their taxes, and we need other ways to show the income that they're actually making, because a lot of your clients are making a lot of money. They're just smart. They're business owners. As you guys all know, you're 1099, and they write off as much as they can. We've got a lot of creative ways to get them into homes at the price points that they want. In addition to that, recently ran into some gentlemen in Los Angeles and Orange County area. So we do have private money, hard money to deploy. If you're working with investors, if you're working with people who are buying fix and flips, wholesalers, people of that nature, we've got programs for those type of loans, the type of homes that won't pass the conventional or FHA appraisals, commercial, cannabis loans, SBA, land loans. If you guys don't know what any of these programs are, again, Salu loans, I put it in the group message. You can always feel free to reach out. But other than that, you guys just got to get excited about this market right now. And as counterintuitive as I'm sure it sounds, because you listen to everybody else, this is right now is where millionaires are being made, especially if you're new. There's a lot of people going into their shell. There's a lot of people that had grip on market share that are leaving, retiring, that just out of the place. This is for, people that are newer, 5 years or younger. Let's go grab the market share as much as possible, because when this market comes back around, you're going to be pulling up in a Bentley with golden grills and all that type of stuff, whatever kind of jewelry you like. This is your opportunity. So get excited.
That's right. Or just get a Honda, whatever suits your boat. Whatever floats your boat. All right. But Sal, I appreciate it. To our lending partners, I appreciate you guys. Let's go to Otis. You had a question. I want to make sure that we address that question before we lose it.
I fucking like the way Sal rolls, man. Me and him gonna have a cup of coffee sometime. I just wanted to go into some of the programs, specifically for the money store and Stephanie. With the black and brown, does that have any leeway with I-10, or is there anything that they're doing for them with any type of programs, or anything that you guys can help out with anything with that?
So I've been told that the WISH program, they don't care about anybody's citizenship. So I have yet to do one with I-10, but I will definitely ask for some more information about that. So I'll get back to you on that.
For sure. So yeah, that'll work, because we have somebody that's been tinkering for over a year, and he just got his social and a bunch of other things, but we've been waiting for some paperwork. So if that doesn't matter, then we have something coming for Solano County.
Awesome. Appreciate that. Yeah, make sure that you guys connect. I don't see any other questions at the time. So really quick, just a quick reminder for everyone to be studying, reading, watching the articles, and listening about what's going on with the Sitzer and Burnett case. Now, obviously, this is a massive case. There was 9 homeowners that came together and they filed suit against National Association of Realtors and a couple other name brokerages that are big names. And now think about this from a seller's point of view. When a seller lists their home with Carlos Sandoval agrees to take that listing at a 6% commission. Well, he is saying that a portion, 2.5%, 3%, is now going to the buyer who brings in a buyer. And that was the point of contention, because here's what a seller says. Why am I paying somebody, and when it's in their best interest to get the lowest amount for my home, I'm paying that person to essentially bring me a lower offer than what I actually want. So why would we do that? And so you have to think about it from a seller's vantage point. So as we go through the next couple months, and this is our next couple weeks, and obviously we'll have a verdict in probably early November, second week in November, I want you guys to realize the importance of you guys understanding exactly what you do. We said this on Monday, and I'm going to say it again until I'm blue in the face. Knowing exactly what your value proposition is, what separates you, and what your proven process is. So if things change, if commissions change, if buyers are in the future required to pay commissions, which we're not there yet, so I don't want to scare anybody, but I'm just saying, let's all prepare. This is the time where we hunker down and we really focus on our UVP. What is our unique value proposition? How can we truly, truly offer the highest level of value? And if you're not ready to articulate that, then just leave now, because this game is going to get tighter in regards to how people are choosing the people that they work with. So over the next couple of weeks, over the next couple of months, I want you guys to practice, rehearse. What's your proven process, and what separates you, and what clearly defines what makes you different in the value that you offer to the real estate space. If you're able to articulate that, then you could stand in front of anybody and say, you know what? I thought you would never ask, Jeff. This is what separates me from every other realtor out there. So it's going to be different in the future. Things will change. We don't know exactly how. However, they've shed some light on some things that maybe should have been changed years and years ago. And now we're playing catch up. So make sure that you're up to date on this. Make sure that you're reading, you're going down the rabbit hole, you're looking at the minutes from the court session every single day, and that you're aware, because you're not the only ones that are seeing this. Consumers are seeing this too, and they're going to start asking you questions about this. So the better that you can frame what you're actually going to say to them, then the better position that you're going to be in to serve them, educate them, lead, and to provide your guidance and your expert tutelage. That's what we need to do. Don't get afraid of this. Get in front of this. And the way that you get in front of this is preparing and understanding your UVP. So you want to go around the room really quick. I want to get some key takeaways from people on the call today. So let's do this. I'm going to go over to Dan Sundberg. Dan has been on the call on his walking thing. I did this yesterday for a mastermind. How many miles do you think Dan has gone since we started the call? Please put in the chat down below how many miles you think Dan has gone thus far. So wrong answers only, please throw them down, and then I'll have Dan share what the actual mileage is after he contributes. So Dan, key takeaways from our time together today, big dog.
73, that's correct, 73 miles. Yeah, I mean, I think the key takeaway is, like everyone else was saying earlier on, no excuses. That is really just bottom line for everything. But then also, I think especially with what's going on with the trial and the market and everything, just staying really, really, really on top of and in tune with the latest developments, because I think in the next year, we're going to have to get very much more on our game for being able to justify why we should get paid. And I think that's going to be a huge, huge, huge thing coming down the line. So practice it now while the stakes are low, because I think they're going to get pretty high soon. 1.3 miles is the answer.
1.3 miles. I love it. I love it. Good stuff. And thank you guys for all the wrong answers. Let's go to Dominique Curtis. Dominique Curtis, key takeaways from our time together today. Then we'll grab a couple other people and we'll start wrapping on the conversation. Dominique Curtis, let's hear from you. Key takeaways from our time together today.
Takeaway is there's a lot of resources out there for our buyers. All we need to do is start asking more questions, getting more involved, and learning more about it so that we can get more clients. And when we get them, we can put them on the hook and make it happen for them.
That's right. Dominique, are you in Oakland this morning?
No, I'm in the Brentwood office.
Oh, you are? Okay. All right, cool.
I was coming for this accountability thing that we've done a few times. So we're checking back in with each other.
Love it. Love it. Ashley, let's go to you. Key takeaways from our time together today.
Good morning. My key takeaway was keep in mind the people who have sacrificed for us and make sure that we are doing the work to honor that sacrifice and we're keeping that top of mind. And then I really liked the getting excited about this market. There's a lot of people and there's a lot of market share out there. And with the right attitude and the right compounding effects, we can take advantage of this market.
Yeah, I 100% agree. So appreciate that contribution. And let's go over to one last person. Ryan Fong, are you on, or can you talk? And go once, go twice, go 3 times. Ryan, key takeaways from our time together today.
Yeah, so pretty much we have choices in life, not to let our ancestors' sacrifices go to waste. And really, it's just all about perspective. The things we're facing now might not really be that hard in the grand scheme of things. So yeah, having options and choosing those options to propel our business forward.
Oh man, really well said. Really well said. And to quote Damian, like complacency, at what time did complacency become an option, right? For our grandparents, for our ancestors, for the people that came over, from wherever we came from, like complacency was not an option. A loaf of bread was something that was so cherished in their household. To eat steak, like that was like like fine dining. So I want you guys to think about that and just really reflect. And I was really excited about this conversation. Obviously, I never know how these conversations are going to go, but I will always work, prep, and prepare to make sure that I have dialogue that will at least do this, provoke thought, right? If I can have you think about things differently, if I can get you guys to think about your own behaviors, the way that you are entering this world, mind, body, soul, spirit, maybe that will impact your productivity. And most of the time it does. So you guys, I appreciate you allowing me to go a little bit deeper with you guys today. And I appreciate all the well wishes for our journeys today. We are leaving today at 10:15. Our flight is out. So thank you guys. We are not going to be doing coaching for the next couple of weeks, obviously. However, if you want to still come to script role play sessions, Jess is going to be hosting it in my room. So same thing, that'll be on the calendar. Vernon might hop in, Otis might hop in, who knows? I don't know. I just know that Jess is going to open that room if you guys still want to practice your script. So do me a favor. During this time, I want you to still get up like you're going to go to coaching, still get your mind prepared, still talk to people, still have your sense of community, and still be in the mix. You don't need me. You don't need me to keep yourselves in the game. I'm just here to be an accelerant and to support you on the journey to where you're already heading. So I'm going to vacate. And all I want you guys to do is while I'm gone, show me your receipts. Stay on the grind, stay on your productivity, stay on social media, and do the things that you know are going to move your business forward. So you guys, I thank you for being here. Thank you for all of your contributions today. It really meant the world to me. And as always, keep it moving towards your dreams, goals, and vision, and have an amazing, amazing day. And I love you guys. Peace.
Peace.